So let's have a look at a few words and get some practice. Let's start with the first word here. I've got amico. Amico. It means friend. So we got a. There's only one sound for a, so it's a. There's only one sound for e, and that's e, so we got ami. And then final one is co. Now there's two sounds for o. We said it's o and o. Now later on we'll look at accents in Italian, but just as a little taste, Italian with the open vowels o and e, you'll never find them at the end of a word unless there's an actual accent on them. For example, the word caffè, caffè, spelled with an e with an accent, and that e is very open, it's e, caffè. So here, there's no accent. We don't say amico, we say amico. So we go with the plain o. So that's how you learn how to even predict which variation, open or closed, you're gonna have to use. Let's move on to Italia. Italia, Italia. Okay. One sound for E, one sound for A, one sound for E, one sound for A. So this one is fairly easy. Italia. Italia. Now you'll notice that in Italian, when you have two vowels, and namely you have I followed by any other vowel, you will find that the I is softened. It becomes a semi-vowel almost, which means we don't stretch it as much and we just go over it more quickly. And that's why this will sound to you Italia. The E is often a lot softer than the E in amico. Okay, Italia, Italia. Let's move on to the capital of Italy, Roma. Roma. One sound for O, one sound for A. Sorry, two possible sounds for O. Now, for Rome, we say Roma. I'm using the closed O. So, Roma, Roma. No reason for that. That's just how it is. Let's go now and have a look at this word. This word here is opera. Opera. It means opera. Opera. This O is open. It's opera. So we go back to what I was telling you before, that when you have more than two syllables, then the syllable that you stress is the one with more air, and in most cases it means that we're going to use the open O and the open E for those ones. So it's opera, opera. Now, personally, can I say opera? It just sounds really weird for me to say opera with a closed O. Okay. So I wouldn't probably say it. Okay. I'm used to hearing my name with a closed E, just because I have a lot of friends from the north of Italy, but I've never heard opera spelled in any other, pronounced in any other way. Let's have a look again. Roma, opera. Roma, opera. The two different O's. Okay. Firenze, city of Florence. Firenze. So there's two E. The final E, we kind of agree that it's always going to be a closed E unless it's got an accent. So it's going to be nse. It's not going to be nse. Say nse. Now, for the middle one, we don't really know. Now, based on what I've told you, there's more than two syllables. We're stressing the one with the E. We're probably going to open that one. So it's going to sound a lot better to hear Firenze, Firenze, rather than Firenze. But people in Italy do say Firenze in some parts of Italy. So Firenze, Firenze. Let's look at the word perché. Perché. Perché means why and because. E comes up twice. Now, this one has an accent, but there's two types of accent for E's in Italian, and we'll see this later. Now, this accent, the accent that goes from the bottom up, it actually means that we are stressing that syllable, which is the last syllable of the word, but we're using the closed version of the vowel. Whereas this other accent, the one that goes from above, from top to bottom, means that we are stressing that syllable, but we are using the open version of the sound, okay? So in this case, we're going to have two identical e. The only difference is that we are going to stress this syllable here. So the word is going to move towards the end. So we'll say perché, perché, perché. Okay, it means why and because. Going over here, Udine. Udine is a city in the northeast of Italy. U, just an example of U. Udine. Now we've seen opera. Let's go back to looking at opera though. We said that that's the stress. We say opera. Now, one word can only have one stress, so one emphasis. So now that we're stressing the O, which makes us open the O, it can't do the same to the second syllable because you can only have one stress in a word. Therefore, chances are this E is going to be a closed E because we've already opened up one vowel. Opera, opera. Next word is really useful. It's common to hear it mispronounced from non-Italian speakers, so let's work on it. It means thank you, and the word is grazie, grazie, grazie. We got the A, gra, si, e. So we have three vowels which we want to hear. Now, like I said, the E can be softened a little bit because it's followed by another vowel. So it doesn't have to stand on its own like in amico, but definitely it's there. But most importantly, the E at the end is there. So we're going to say grazie, grazie. So the E must be pronounced and must be heard, and it means thank you. So make sure you got this one right. Next word is baci, baci. It means kisses, and it's also the chocolate, you know, like the Ferrero Perugina makes baci, like little kisses, chocolate. Baci. And then finally the word colosseo, colosseo, and again, that's the syllable I'm stressing. And the magic happens, the E opens up, colosseo, colosseo. So I hope this was helpful to get a better idea of how to pronounce the vowels. Let's move on to the next lesson.